So if you've been following along on Instagram or Facebook, where I do a ton of stories about what's happening at our own house, and this is an interior project, of course, we're renovating from top to bottom. A house that was built probably in the late 60s or early 70s. I'm not exactly sure, but part of this process is that we're replacing all of the trim and molding in the entire house. It's gonna take us a long time, but we're slowly but surely getting there. And I wanted to show you what it used to look like, what the old molding looks like. It's this. It's really standard, probably across the entire country, but certainly in the area that we live in, Mobile. And basically, it's almost like a picture frame. It's the same all the way around the whole doorways, and also the window molding is exactly the same too. We have it around basically every opening in our entire house. And so we're going back and we're replacing it with a little more of a decorative molding. And there's a lot of interest through social media about what that is exactly that we're adding. So I wanted to show you what it looks like now and then how we're going to revise it and just give it a little more of a, it's actually a midtown look. It looks a lot like what we had in our old house. And so I wanted to bring it into this house because I just think it's really beautiful. So let me show you guys what we're doing. I'm in my living room. Behind me, you can see the bay window that we've been working on. Now the bay window is kind of a weird situation just because it's 3 windows put together and it's not your standard frame and molding situation. But I have the pieces that we put together here on the table to show you guys exactly what we use for that. And then of course you can customize it if you have a kind of a different window situation like we have here. And Nate's also gonna get some shots of some doorways that we've done so you can see how it would work in different situations. But the basics of it is that we always use pre-primed wood. We've used plain pine before, primed it ourselves and then painted it ourselves, and it always ends up kind of the color comes through on the knots and things and the imperfections in the wood. And so we've opted for using this pre-primed wood that's available at all your big box lumber stores. So the sides of the casings are a 1x4. And as you guys know, 1x4 is not truly a 1x4, it's 3/4 by 3 3/4, but this is the side pieces. And then right above that, Thomas actually creates a custom piece of wood. This is 1 inch by 3/4 inch. And I'm not sure that this one's exactly cut correctly. This is a scrap that I found out there, but he does, I believe it's 3/4 high and 1 inch deep. So that stacks on top of the 1x4, and then on top of the on top of this small piece of trim is this 1x6, and that goes across the top of either your door frame or your window frame. And then on top of that is the crown molding, which is this small piece. A lot of people will call this cabinet molding. I'm not exactly sure what the profile for it is, but you guys can see what the profile that we use here. It's essentially just a small cabinet molding. And then he also, Nate will get a shot of it, but he also miters it back so that basically you nail this across the top, and then this piece of molding also folds back here, so it creates a corner with that molding as well. And then last but not least, this is our crown molding that we use. It's kind of a small crown molding. A lot of people like a really extravagant kind of a stacked molding, but this is the one that we use. This is actually the same one that came with the house. And so we're just matching what we already have. And in a lot of places in this house, they didn't have crown molding, so we're just adding it where they didn't have it before. So anyway, that's overall the gist of what we have going on in the house. If you have any questions about it, let me know. There's always gonna be some sort of customization to be had. For example, on this bay window, and really with any windowsill, the windowsill is probably gonna be a little bit small. So basically we had to amend that and add a little bit. You could take the whole sill off and redo it, but we opted for adding a small piece so it would match these larger moldings. I hope that makes sense. If you have a window like this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I didn't want to get too much into the actual DIY of how to do this. That's Thomas's territory. He takes care of all that, and that's not really what this channel is about. If you want to know how to actually do that, maybe we'll do a video later on it. But for right now, I just want to talk to you about the actual style of what we're doing here and the design of it. So any questions, comment below. I'm happy to help any way I can.